CeeDee Lamb's holdout extends to now 15 practices going back to minicamp, and the fines just keep on stacking up. And we've got all that on more here on Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford. Nicole, Hutchison, Kyle Youmans. Now, Kyle, just when you think that the contract extensions and the contract talks would kind of diminish, right? When you have the joint practice, the LA Rams come to Oxnard with a joint practice with the Cowboys, but it obviously overshadowed it. The media questioning Jerry Jones about the status of CeeDee Lamb's contract extension.
Week 3 is winding down. Can you envision September 8th coming and CeeDee Lamb not being ready to go?
Well, I don't know about that, but I know that we're getting great work, making real progress, and I don't think losing a step at where we are now.
Are you saying there's a sense of urgency as you begin the preseason to get CeeDee done?
No.
Jerry Jones addressing the media, saying that there is no sense of urgency, made rounds to social media with CeeDee Lamb obviously having his fair share to say, quote tweeting it. But just talk about the fact that, Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones kind of addressed that, and he said there's zero thoughts about Dallas Cowboys not having CeeDee Lamb this year.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is the context of the quote. The quote was said, so it's not an inaccurate quote, and I think Jerry Jones realizes that. But in context, he's not saying that the Dallas Cowboys don't need CeeDee Lamb. He's saying CeeDee Lamb doesn't need these practices. And you talked about the fines right off the top of the show. Those fines can be waived by a franchise. So at the end of the day, as long as there's an agreement between CeeDee Lamb and the Dallas Cowboys, that's nothing to worry about. So as you continue into this holdout, the more practices he misses, I think the only people that are really getting hurt in this situation are Mike McCarthy as the play caller, the guys around him at wide receiver, and then CeeDee Lamb. But CeeDee Lamb's one of the best players in the NFL at his position for a reason. He'll be ready when it counts, and that's what Jerry Jones was trying to say in this option and in this conversation. He wasn't saying the Cowboys don't need CeeDee Lamb. He's saying CeeDee Lamb has plenty of time to get up to speed.
And Mike McCarthy said that in the press conference on Friday as well, that he's not worried about the fact that CeeDee Lamb will come in and be ready, not come in and not be ready to work. But when you talk about that chemistry that he and Dak built the last year, do you have any concerns that he may have to, that timing will be a little bit hard to work back into?
No, not at all. I really don't. I think CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, they worked in the offseason together. They've had plenty of reps. If CeeDee Lamb needs a ramp up outside of practice, there's always the Dak yard. There's always extra places to get reps in. CeeDee Lamb will be fine. And that's ultimately what this conversation is. Dak has been doing his thing out here on the practice field regardless, even in the midst of his contract talks. And so as long as he's doing well, it gives reps for these other receivers. You want to see CeeDee Lamb back in the fold at some point, maybe 1 or 2 weeks before that September 8th opener against the Cleveland Browns. But up until that point, I really don't think it's much to worry about.
CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott becoming one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in 2023. He actually led the league in touchdown passes and has been a star of training camp. Dak Prescott, man. But here's what he had to say about ready to get out there on the field.
Played going into year 9. I've had a lot of experience, and I think all of that carries into my confidence to say that I could play a game right now. Part of me, I wish that was a game. I wish it was, putting the ball down. Those 3rd and 4th downs are real. You have to see the defense come on, see the whole chess match of the back and forth to get in that feel and get in that rhythm. But the team will get that. The team will get everything that we need in these preseasons to make sure that we're ready to roll when it's time to roll. But me personally, I'm ready to play and get after.
Dak Prescott ready to get in the fold, but he wasn't in the fold in practice on Friday, Kyle.
Yeah, that was interesting. We got out to practice, and there was no quarterback wearing number 4 in the red jersey. No Dak Prescott on Friday. We did get some clarification from Cowboys PR. They said that it was ankle soreness, nothing to be worried about, just a precaution. He talked about it in the offseason. Of course, the storyline where he was in the walking boot on the beach in wherever he was, tropical island-wise. That's not a story. This isn't a story. He's okay. He's ready to go. Wasn't going to play on Sunday. It was not a padded practice on Friday. He's ready to go and just taking a day off, a couple days off.
Much needed for Dak Prescott. He's been slicing and dicing here all training camp long. But what happens when you don't cook things up, you get shipped. And Nahshon Wright is certainly one of those guys who is now heading to Minnesota. We'll be talking about that cornerback depth right after the break.
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford. Nicole, Hutchison, Kyle Youmans. And Kyle, we've got the second biggest news of training camp so far. Former 2021 third-round pick Nahshon Wright has been traded to Minnesota for Andrew Booth, a 2022 second-round pick, another cornerback added to the depth. I mean, what are your first thoughts on Andrew Booth?
You know, it's an interesting thought process because it's the second year in a row they've had a cornerback for cornerback swap between two top 100 picks. Last year, it was Kelvin Joseph for Noah Igbenogany. Noah Igbenogany ended up playing a lot of special teams reps, was working with John Fossil more so than with Dan Quinn on the defense. This kind of feels the same. I mean, Andrew Booth has played 2 seasons in the NFL. He played 17 games last year with 1 start, but really all those 17 game snaps were full of special teams work. So this might be a special teams move, and best of luck to Nahshon Wright. I think as a top 100 pick, the expectations were always there. He didn't really play up to those expectations of being the 99th pick back in the 2021 draft. He'll have an opportunity in a new location to go and get things right in his NFL career, and he'll have a shot to do it in where Mike Zimmer used to play. Andrew Booth, of course, was drafted right after Mike Zimmer was there.
8 tackles and 1 pass breakup for Andrew Booth in 2023 with the Minnesota Vikings. But do you think this was more so a move about Kalen Carson, a rookie who has certainly been the star of training camp?
No, that's a great question. I think the cornerback depth right now you feel pretty good about because of what you've seen from Kalen Carson. I know 2 years ago we were talking about Deron Bland as a possibility as a rookie, 5th-round pick, somebody you could rely on. That doesn't always happen, but right now the same conversations are being had about Kalen Carson as a rookie 5th-round pick. Can't he fill the void of Nahshon Wright? Well, now those snaps that Nahshon was getting on the practice field are going to fall in the lap of the rookie. He'll have every opportunity to win that job and rotate in whenever he gets a chance.
A new face, and Andrew Booth obviously hoping for a new path to success here in the NFL, but a guy who is looking for some redemption, Mazy Smith. Could he be one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL in 2024? I'll tell you how coming up after the break.
This segment was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
We're here to wrap things up on Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford. Nicole, Hutchison, Kyle Youmans, and we obviously teased to Mazy Smith. This is a guy who is certainly looking for redemption right heading into 2024, but do you think that he can possibly be one of the top defensive tackles in 2024 at the rate that he's going through camp so far?
Yeah, I think if you're going to live up to the expectations of being a first-round pick, you need to be one of the top defensive tackles in the league. Now, I don't think that's realistic in year 2 for Mazy Smith. Can he get there at some point? Absolutely. I think he can get to that point and make something happen. But right now you're looking for positive steps in the right direction. There was a big step in the right way on Thursday in the joint practice against the Rams. He went up against former second-round pick Steve Avila, held his own, maybe didn't push the pocket a ton, but he stood his ground and he anchored for that defensive line, the edge rushers around him, the linebackers behind him to have some success in that practice. If you can continue to see some of the bright spots of Mazy Smith in year number 2, that's the number one thing, because you're looking for quality starter reps from the 1 technique spot, maybe from 3 technique, depending on where they put him. But as long as he's moving in the right direction, I think that's a positive thing for Mazy.
How crucial is this first preseason game for him?
Oh, it's crucial. You're going to see a lot of Mazy Smith. There's not going to be a ton of starters in action unless they're rookies or they're second-year guys. Mazy will see the majority of the snaps on defense.
Well, only time will tell. Hopefully we get a big look at Mazy Smith. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. on Sunday. Check your local listings to watch.
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.